Casemiro replaced and £60 million winger, Manchester United's dream lineup for next season. Manchester United could see 3 new faces in their lineup next season if the summer goes to plan, making for an exciting starting XI. Manchester United have only placed 4 players on a sale exemption list, meaning that most squad players are available for an approach ahead of the new campaign. Just Andre Onana, Kobbie Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund are out of bounds in this summer's transfer market, and all 4 are likely to retain their place in United's strongest 11 next season. United have decided that they wish to bring in 2 new centre-backs this window, with Raphael Varane departing at the end of his contract and Johnny Evans currently seeing his deal expire this month. Meanwhile, a new midfielder and an attacker are wanted. Anthony Martial's exit at the end of his contract has left Højlund as the only natural centre-forward, while Casemiro is strongly tipped to leave Old Trafford this summer after a poor second season. United do need restocking and could have 3 new faces in their lineup if all goes to plan. Onana will keep his spot in goal, certainly if Erik ten Hag keeps his job. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is conducting an end-of-season review within his inner circle before deciding upon the Dutchman's future. Diogo Dalot was one of United's most consistent players last season and serves his spot at right-back, having covered amply at left-back amid long-term injuries to Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia. Lisandro Martinez will likely start at centre-back, perhaps beside one of 2 new defenders. United are keeping tabs on Everton star Jadon Sancho and Bayer Leverkusen invincible Edmund Tapsoba. Branthwaite already has Premier League experience and at 21 is one for the long term. Everton are determined not to be bullied into a low sale but could allow him to exit for the right price amid their financial difficulties. He would not come cheap but would be an investment for the future. Shaw, 29 next month, is still the team's best left-back with Malacia due to return from an absent season plagued by rehabilitation setbacks from last summer's knee operation. With Dalot also an option there, United have enough cover in that area. Mainoo emerged as one of United's best assets last season and is a must-start despite only turning 19 in April. He could be partnered in midfield by a new arrival, possibly purchased with the money raked in for Casemiro. United are monitoring Branthwaite's Everton teammate, Amadou Onana, while Arsenal are also said to be interested in the 22-year-old. With Sofiane Amrabat set to return to Fiorentina at the end of his loan, United need to bolster numbers in defensive midfield. Meanwhile, the club have been linked with Crystal Palace star Michael Olise. The Frenchman is due to feature for his country at the Olympics, but his omission from France's Euro 2024 squad gives more scope for United to seal a deal. He could cost a similar figure to Branthwaite, with reports suggesting his price tag sits at £60m. Meanwhile, captain Bruno Fernandes would occupy his attacking midfield role should he stay. The playmaker has outlined he wishes to remain at Old Trafford, although reports suggest he could leave if the right amount and opportunity comes along. Garnacho and Højlund would complete the front line in a starting 11 that would be able to push for a top 4 spot. Potential Man United 11, Andre Onana, Dalot, Branthwaite, Martinez, Shaw, Amadou Onana, Mainoo, Olise, Fernandes, Garnacho, Højlund. Manchester United's first summer transfer could be easier to do by the end of this week. Man United need to sign at least 1 central defender this summer, and one of their targets could be available this month. By the close of play on Friday night, Gareth Southgate will have finalised his 26-man England squad heading to this summer's European Championship, and Jadon Branthwaite is one of those players on the fringes who will be keeping his fingers crossed. The 21-year-old was granted just half an hour against Bosnia and Herzegovina at St James Park on Monday night, and while he would have hoped for more of a chance, he still has Friday's friendly against Iceland to make an impression. But the fact he didn't play at all when called into the squad in March might suggest he doesn't feature that highly in Southgate's plans. That would come as a surprise given Branthwaite's form for Everton this season, with the centre-back performing impressively for Sean Dyche's side. He is also comfortable on either foot and plays as a left-sided centre-back, which is an area England have traditionally struggled in. That might not be enough to see him make the cut. If he is axed from the final squad, that might be a blow to Everton's chances of extracting a substantial fee for the defender, although it could also make it easier for a sale to be concluded before June 30th, easing the pressure the Toffees are still feeling when it comes to the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, PSR. You can be sure Manchester United will be watching with interest. At least one new centre-back will arrive at Old Trafford this summer, and Branthwaite is high on the list of potential targets. United's PSR position received a boost with their qualification for the Europa League, and although this remains a window in which sales will be required to supplement the budget, there are players within the squad who will leave, and funds should be easy enough to raise. It might be that United want to wait until after June 30th to make signings, with a substantial £150 million loss from 2020-21 set to fall off the PSR monitoring period from next month, but at the same time, they hold a stronger hand when it comes to negotiations with Everton if they need to sell this month. They have already been hit with 2 points deductions for breaching PSR, and with the takeover by 777 partners continuing to hit stumbling blocks, they might have to raise further funds to avoid the possibility of further sanctions. Branthwaite is probably the most sellable asset in Dyche's squad. Everton have attempted to put a price tag of £70 million to £80 million on the centre-back, but that position could be weakened if he doesn't make England's Euro 2024 squad. That value will also come down if a sale is required before the end of June. So come this weekend, United might know whether they hold a stronger hand when it comes to negotiations. With Dan Ashworth still on gardening leave, Technical Director Jason Wilcox and Director of Football Negotiations Matt Hargreaves will lead the window. From next month, July 13th, Omar Barada will be in position to sign the cheques. United still need clarity on the manager situation. Finalizing the end-of-season review is the key for INEOS at the moment, and that includes making a call on the future of Erik ten Hag. Any potential signing is going to want to know who they will be playing under next season. There is also an immediate focus on sales. Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood are both on the market, and permanent deals for both are preferred. That could raise substantial funds. But when it comes to arrivals, a centre-back and a striker are the priority, and an opportunity to do a deal for Branthwaite on more preferential terms could appear this week. Manchester United are trying to sign the wrong Crystal Palace player in the transfer window. Man United desperately need to strengthen their midfield options this summer, and they had the chance to previously sign the ideal candidate. If you tuned into England's 3-0 win over Bosnia and Herzegovina on Monday night with the expectation of being entertained, you had the wrong idea. Pre-tournament friendlies are rarely entertaining and memorable, so much so the 3-0 scoreline was a lot greater than most England supporters anticipated. Gareth Southgate, who deployed a second-string starting 11, was never going to approach a meaningless friendly at full throttle 13 days ahead of a tournament opener. It was an opportunity for those who are not guaranteed places on the plane to Germany next week to leave their calling card and give Southgate food for thought. Cole Palmer and Eberechi made the most of their opportunities, producing eye-catching showings from the start. Palmer marked his full debut with a goal, netting from the penalty spot, seconds before being substituted with just over an hour played. He was one of 5 players hauled off by Southgate, being replaced by James Maddison. Of the quintet of substitutions made by Southgate, it was the introduction of Adam Wharton for his Three Lions debut that was by far and away the most eye-catching, despite Harry Kane doing just enough to add another goal to his ever-growing collection. Wharton stepped into midfield, operating alongside Conor Gallagher. Signed by Crystal Palace as recently as January, it has been a sharp rise for the 20-year-old, formerly of Blackburn Rovers. Experiencing international football for the very first time in his senior career, he produced a cameo performance that would have left you presuming he had been in and around the England camp for years. Attempting 36 passes, he completed the lot. He progressed the ball and kept everything neat and tidy. It was an accomplished showing that strengthens his chances of making the plane. It was also a performance that brought Manchester United's failure to lure him to Old Trafford into question. Wharton was regularly linked with United and other members of the Premier League's elite, including Liverpool, before moving to Selhurst Park in January. He was one of the hottest properties in the Championship and was regularly tipped to smash his way through the Premier League barrier. Signed by Palace earlier this year, the youngster played a starring role in the Londoners' excellent finish to the season. He quickly got to grips with the demands of the Premier League, averaging 1.3 interceptions, 3 tackles, and 4.8 ball recoveries per 90. Despite being drafted in to become Palace's new midfield anchor, he was also excellent with the ball, progressing it, helping Palace get up the pitch, and his ability to read the game quickly stood out. It was a similar tale at St James's Park on Monday night. he was polished in possession, scanning the game with ease to keep the ball moving. He didn't attempt anything too fancy, ensuring England kept the ball and kept it moving. Capable of controlling the play and doing the gritty side of the game in equal measure, Wharton fits the profile of the type of midfielder United should be hunting ahead of next season. Casemiro's days at Old Trafford are numbered, and he needs replacing with a young, high-potential operator who can slot straight in. Granted, it would have been brave had United jumped in with 2 feet to sign Wharton from Blackburn without having seen him prove himself at a higher level than the Championship, but his performances for Palace over the last few months, plus his cameo showing for England, have provided enough evidence to suggest he is destined for a lengthy career at the highest level. His reading of the game is absolutely top drawer, likewise his passing capabilities, meaning he could have been the orchestrator United need. Maybe they should park their reported interest in Michael Olise and chase after Wharton instead. The only drawback, however, is the fact he is on a long-term contract at Palace, and extracting him from that would not be cheap. United missed the boat, even if it would have represented a gamble at the time. Jadon Sancho transfer stance emerges amid Manchester United concern over Michael Olise deal. Latest Manchester United transfer news and gossip with updates on Jadon Sancho and Crystal Palace star Michael Olise. Manchester United could be in line for a busy summer transfer window. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS Group will have their first summer window since taking charge of footballing operations at Old Trafford earlier this year. No new signings were made in January, but that is likely to change when the window opens later this month. Rumours have been swirling for several weeks about the potential new signings that United could make this summer, while there has also been speculation about players who could leave. According to TalkSport, Jadon Sancho may only be able to return to Borussia Dortmund on another loan deal this summer. The England international spent the second half of the campaign on loan at the Bundesliga club after leaving United in January. The report claims that Dortmund are interested in re-signing Sancho, but would not be able to afford the £50 million price tag that has been set by United. This, the report states, is because the German side are prioritising signing Ian Maatsen from Chelsea in a deal that may cost £35 million. Elsewhere, United reportedly may face competition for the potential signing of Crystal Palace star Michael Olise. The Reds have been heavily linked with a move for Olise over the last few months. However, Team Talk are reporting that Chelsea are set to make a move for the versatile forward. The report states that United are confident of being able to sign Olise, but are wary of Chelsea making a move in the coming weeks. It has been stated that the London club are planning to activate the release clause in the 22-year-old's contract, which is reported to be close to £60 million.